All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this cold cast presentation. I'm your casting host, Bafe. Actually being here today, guys, we got more Ultimate Pandasoul coming your way right now. We got 007, the Spies, taking on Gay for Life. Dirty Mobs and the boys currently up 1-0 on the back of a fantastic game of Monkey King being played by Rookie. Of course, you got Diglett playing the Torturer, and Cakes was doing some work on Wild Soul, Warbeast as well. But definitely the standout player there being Rookie after some strong free farm in the short lane. Put it to good use with that 15-minute assassin shot on Monkey King, putting the fear of God into the guys for Gay for Life. On the other side, well, we'll see what Gay for Life is going to be able to do this time on the Hellborn, if they will force game number 3 or if they're going to go down 0-2 against the Spies. Taking a look at this game, we got Wild Soul and Tempest, Keeper of the Forest and Tempest, going to be banned out. So a lot of those strong junglers slash suicide heroes going to be banned out immediately. Ophelia not going to be blind banned, and she's not in the lock pool. A bit interesting right there. The heroes that did make it to the lock pool: Rally, Pebbles, Master of Arms, Engineer, so the Bearded Brothers make it in there. Got Aluna and the Monkey King all going to join their way in there, so interesting. Ophelia does get banned out here in the regular banning phase, with Lodestone, Warbeast, Scout, Magnus, and Parasite as well. So 4 heroes with suicide potential between the Lodestone, Warbeast, Scout, and Magnus. Definitely makes suicide heroes a little bit higher on the priority. Would not be surprised to see something like Bubbles picked up very, very early on. We saw Misera play the Bubbles last game. Didn't have too strong of a start going up against the Master of Arms Monkey King lane, but definitely a possibility that we'll see him here in just another few seconds. Other strong suicide heroes that are available on the board, there's really not too many of them left, actually. Am I crazy? Like, there's a Plague Rider, Wretched Hag. It's kind of it, right? Like, for the common suicide type heroes, I might be forgetting 1 or 2, but definitely expect the Bubbles. There it is. Okay, so Bubbles and Artillery. Once again, these 2 were both picked by Gay for Life in the last game, and they're feeling like, hey, we just kind of had a bad game. We're going to do better this time. We're going to execute better and run a very similar strategy. Torture was one of the first picks for 007 in the last game as well. Actually, he might have been a lock pick. I could be wrong here. Yeah, I think he was actually a lock pick. But with the Torture and now Deadwood being picked up, 007 going for something a little bit different. Sandwraith as well, so going to go with a little bit harder of a carry than the Monkey King, something that has a little bit more of a ramp-up time. But if we do see Rookie playing on that Sandwraith, expect him to get active early. Do not expect him to go red boots into a Mock of Brilliance or something like that. Expect to see some very, very early Ghost Marchers or Steam Boots into an Energizer, and for the Sandwraith to get active. Torture, Deadwood, Sandwraith into the Rally, first pick here for 007. A very, very nice pick. Wanting to make sure that they are going to get some additional lockdown and some taking ability. And they're going to get another extremely strong hero, whether that's going to be Pebbles, Master of Arms, or Engineer to round this lineup out. Any of them will fit in pretty okay with this lineup. You know what? That's not necessarily true. You got your 3 farmers already between Deadwood, Sandwraith, and Rally. I expect him to go Master of Arms here and get the secondary support rolling. On the other side of things, Gay for Life finishes off their team. They did go with the 6th overall pick of Andromeda. So definitely a hero that we don't see too often, generally being played in a dual support capacity. Oftentimes tri-lanes is her very, very small range. I believe 350 range is just too weak to be a solo support in a lane. And it certainly could be a possibility here. Engineer, Pebbles, Andromeda, tri-lane. Could work. Definitely could work. Artillery and Bubbles as your solos. And in fact, I think that's what it's going to be. I think Misera is going to head up to the middle lane. They're going to send artillery into the short lane, and then they're going to run the aggro tri-lane of Andromeda, Pebbles, Engineer in long, trying to shut down the Sandwraith, which is a great strategy that a lot of teams employ when they see a Sandwraith, saying, hey, we will do everything in our power to shut that hero down.
Let's get it on.
And that could be what it is, because Sandwraith is not a flash farming hero. He is not a hero that does very well with recovery, unlike the artillery on the other side. If you're able to trade your artillery's early farm for the opposing team's early Sandwraith farm, I think that you're going to be in a good position there almost every time, because artillery, once he gets those levels up, he's always going to be able to farm the jungle, the ancients, the lanes very quickly. Sandwraith does not become the fastest farmer over time, even if you throw something like that Mocker Brilliance on him. He'll farm quick, but not that quick. So we'll see. Right now, 5 players from the Hellborn team going to be making their way into the opposing team's jungle. Currently, what you got is there drops a defensive ward of sight, so definitely expecting there to be some early roaming coming out from the Hellborn team, and possibly expecting the aggro tri-lane. Ooh, extremely aggressive ward coming out of Adro, and it's now going to be completely up to the Legion team to be extremely cautious, or they're going to die. And Bubbles will walk right by this ward of sight. Oh no! This ward of sight will spot everybody out, and they're now not going to be able to pick up a kill here. It sees that the Engineer and Pebbles go directly back. Andromeda going to be shortly there to follow. So beautiful ward from what you got, giving We Are Spies all the information that they need. We even see some rotation coming in now as Sandwraith will head up into that top lane. Rally going to go suicide short now. I'm just feeling that he's going to have a better time, and I completely agree with this decision. With that compel and the innate tanking as a rally, it's going to be pretty dang hard for him to get brought down, even with the triple stun combination of this aggressive tri-lane here. And Rally will get spotted out, but the Hellborn team wants none of it. They didn't get a block off at all, and this is going as well as it could. The pre-game here went as well as it could for the We Are Spies team. They predicted the lanes correctly. They're going to put the 2-on-1 in the middle lane, so Bubbles is not going to be able to get any farm here. Up top, you got the 2-on-1 against the artillery, so once the lane control is established by the Sandwraith and Torture, which they will get in the next minute or two, this artillery is not going to get any farm, so Bubbles is going to get experience, no farm. Artillery is going to get no farm or experience in about a minute here. Actually, I don't agree with what Jackal just did. I really feel like putting pressure on the artillery is not needed right now. You need to be focusing on lane control at this point, and then you can start to zone them out. You're not going to get a kill right here with a Sandwraith and a Torture level 1 and with a creep wave there. You need to be getting lane control, and they are, but they're not getting it nearly as fast as they could. And in fact, okay, that Archer barely went into deny territory at 50%. That could have been really bad. That would have actually lost them lane control. Either way, they're giving this artillery a lot more farm than he should be getting up here. And that's as a direct result of Jackal pulling this creep wave around and just actually dragging it. And so it's not pushing. Big mistake. You should be able to double deny that back and make sure artillery gets nothing here. Andromeda has rotated up. Cake's ward actually spied him coming over here when he went around this corner here. And there's the impalement. Andromeda in a lot of trouble, taking a lot of damage. Sandwraith is going to head over. Will get the Desert's Curse off, and Andromeda should drop right here. 2 more auto attacks. Just 1 more, and Jackal will pick up that kill. So they might not have gotten that early lane control. Now they've got the lane under control, and they managed to pick up the Bloodlust kill. So things are looking good for the Legion team once more. Torture going to actually take a considerable amount of damage himself. This time, Artillery going to get the LRMs out, and Torture going to be the one that drops. Sandwraith could be in some trouble here as well. No points in the slow from Artillery. Instead, opting to go for the LRM and bunker down once more. And holy crap! Rookie going to drop, so Balthazar gets a nice start here. he's going to get the double tap. A nice influx of gold going to be coming in for him, up to an inflated 330 gold per minute. But whenever you're able to put the pressure on your opponents right there, that's ideal. The middle lane, Masera has been able to get some farming done. The damage from Master of Arms and Deadwood, only 10% in the game from the Master of Arms, as Deadwood is focused entirely on CSing. Sitting at 21 and 10 as opposed to the 3 and 0 of Masera, but Masera getting the level 4 right now. Call level 6 on bubbles is the key point. Doesn't matter if you've got 0 farm whatsoever at that point. Once you hit level 6, you become deadly with that kelp field. If you're able to team up with your team appropriately, you will get kills. And Master of Arms is going to get scouted out right here. There's the Comet stun coming in. The Keg is there as well. Jesuit's Curse going to go up, but Andromeda going to tank that one for now. Master of Arms already dead. And Artillery has the LRM. Torture getting creep blocked pretty hard. And looks like still no slow from Artillery. I don't like this build. I want him to have slow. But he doesn't. And it makes me sad. This is, of course, a stronger farming build, but when you're in a dual lane versus tri-lane or tri-lane versus tri-lane situation, you're going to engage. And those stacking slows from Artillery with 2 points in it, a pretty significant slow. I want to say something like 24%. Seems about right. Definitely a strong slow. Once he's able to lay in a couple of auto attacks in a row. Rally going to use the Compel here. Dodges the Stalagmites as well, so... Nah, Interesting. No points in Seismic Sand. 3 points in Compel and 3 points in Battle Experience. I was wondering why he didn't Seismic Sand to follow up, but just was not confident. Edward throws out a Rotten Grasp, and it will connect. There's the Compel as well. Auto attacks go in, but a nice Keg. And now Rally going to get turned around on. Rally will drop first. Pebble's going to go down to the combination of Deadwood and Sandwraith. So they do bring home that kill, but they had to bring all 3 of their farming heroes into the same lane to get that kill. And definitely some interesting rotation as they move Rookie into the bottom lane, trying to get him out of that dangerous lane up top and into a little bit safer of a position. He helps to get that kill, and in fact, I think he got the credit for that kill right there. Yes, he did. So helping to bring a little bit of influx back into that Sandwraith's coffers. So the Engineer and Pebbles once again in the bottom lane. They'll square off against the single stun lineup here, and they definitely should be able to put some pressure. And in fact, they're going to go for the combo right here. The Keg connects. The turret misses, though, and here comes Hasted Deadwood. Willowmaker is available, and Pebbles with that low armor. Going to take a lot of damage. He should drop right here. Engineer going to be TPing on out, and Pebbles goes for a nice juke, does get out of there for now. Going to dodge the Rotten Grasp and will eventually die. So a good attempt from Felpaw, but that haste from Dirty Mops just doing a little bit too much work. Rookie actually retreating back to town. I don't know about this one. You just generated a lot of pressure in this lane. You know that they're not going to be there. I'd prefer to see Torture actually move up, place the lane ward, and then you chug that one treater that you have left. Hell, I mean, Torture even had a health potion for him. I don't like that decision from Rookie to actually go back into town. You need to be staying there, getting that experience, and making sure to get that gold. Right now, though, a counter ward does go down. Up top, though, Artillery Barrage going to be used, and Artillery does get out of there. Beautifully played by Baltazar. Uh-oh. LRM's going to be going off, and Rally wants a kill, but doesn't have enough mana for a compel, and well, I think he doesn't even know that there's nobody up there. Back down here, the counter ward did go off, and the lane ward was taken out, so great job by Adro playing on the Andromeda. So they definitely want a kill onto Sandwraith, but Sandwraith is dodging the fight, and that's a good decision in my opinion. Mirage is going to be used. They're going for bubbles in the middle lane, perhaps. No. Just getting some scouting information out of that one. Not much else. And speaking of that, Bubbles got 3 assists now. Does have the Kelp Field available, and he's level 7, almost going to finish up the Steam Boots, so it is so hard to shut down the Bubbles experience. It's definitely what makes him such a great laner. And how about this? The Engineer Andromeda have now rotated up top. They are chasing the Sandwraith to no end, and I love the way that they're playing this one. Game for Life definitely making sure that Sandwraith is the one that is having to constantly move. As Comet Stun into the LRM. The keg is there as well, and Rookie drops for the second time in this game. Dirty Mobs continues to be the only player on this team that having any luck with the farm, as Rookie is just being relentlessly pursued. On the other side of things, Felpa did have a pretty decent start at 252 gold per minute, but Baltazar on the artillery is definitely the top farmer in this game, sitting at 330 gold per minute. He has had pretty unrestricted free farm up top. Steam Boots and the Energizer going to give him a maximum of about 1,000 HP if he swamps those to strength. And he's not really too afraid of much at this point with the mobility and the tanky press he's afforded by those higher stats. And middle lane, looks like they will find Deadwood. He gets comboed by Pebbles and Bubbles. The dreaded Pebbles combination up top. Sandwraith going to drop at the hands of Engineer and Artillery. They're going to try to convert this one into a tower push. Artillery will swap to the Steam Boots and drop an LRM on this creep wave here momentarily. And things are looking good for Gay for Life. A small resource advantage for them 10 minutes into this game. Oh, Sandwraith. Nice job, actually, hooking up with Deadwood to get a kill onto Baltazar. So the very low mana Artillery just stuck around a little bit too long. Didn't have enough mana for the Artillery Barrage or the Energizer, it looked like right there, and he paid for it. Nice job capitalizing by oo7 and getting a very necessary kill to stop that 360 gold per minute farm on Artillery. Dirty Mob's definitely doing work here. He's going to find Pebbles as well. Nice juke on the Stalagmites. And what you got is going to be able to get counter ward off as well. So both these teams playing very well. That resource advantage is going to be narrowed up significantly. Rookie's still he's struggling to find the farm, though. They've got him playing in this really awkward position, instead funneling a lot of that farm onto Dirty Mobs and Rally, the players that are going to generate a lot of pressure here in the mid game. And that's fine if you're generating space for a flash farmer to get those farming items. But once again, I talked about it earlier, Sandwraith will struggle to find farm in the later stages of this game because he does not have a flash farming mechanic, and he does not end up buying flash farming items. He buys items that are going to make him an effective ganker, an effective fighter, and that are going to build up into that end-all be-all Sandwraith that we sometimes see in the later stages of the game. And there's Rookie rotating once more. He does have a Ward of Sight here. I do not suspect that this one is going to be counter-warded, as Jacko likely did place it from a location like this, right here. Somewhere that he was going to be able to get that down from within fog and make sure that it's not going to get counter-warded. This should buy Sandwraith some pretty dang good farm over the next couple of minutes. Middle lane, though, Pebble's taking a lot of damage to the hands of the Compel and the Rotten Grasp. He goes down with cakes of dirty mobs. The Murderous Moppets bring home another kill. Things starting to shift back a little bit in favor of HOMO7, at least in terms of the resource advantage. I would actually say that they probably have a rather significant lead, in my opinion, just because they do have such strong farm and levels on the Deadwood and Rally. They're just going to be able to create a lot of pressure. They've been trying to keep down Felpa, who's not going to be looking at a portal key for quite some time still. Probably another 3 or 4 minutes for that portal key. And by that time, he's not going to have a lot of targets to actually bring down. I guess the Master of Arms and the Torture are still relatively squishy. And hell, even the Sandwraith, if he does not have his boots set to strength, is a very, very squishy target. Once again, we do have artillery going for that Nullstone build. Straight damage and utility of an item like Geometry's Bane does make it a relatively common choice for some players. And hey, how about that? I said it's going to be another 3 or 4 minutes for a portal key on Pebbles. Felpa says, screw that beef. They took down the triple stacked Ancients, and it looks like he got all or almost all of those, as his gold shot up about 900 gold in that area. So great job. Picks up the portal key sub 15 minutes, and he'll be able to pick up easy kills here on the Torture and Master of Arms. Sandwraith definitely looking a little bit more tanky with those Steam Boots set to strength. With no points in the Dispersion, though, or excuse me, the Dissipate, he's going to continue to be pretty squishy. The Engineer gets taken out by Deadwood, utilizing that Willowmaker. Bubbles comes in with the Shell Surf Song of the Sea. Seismic Slam going to finish off Andromeda, so 2 down for the Hellborn team thus far, but Deadwood, the big kill already for the Hellborn. And Rally will drop as well as the might of Pebbles, Bubbles, and Artillery. And brings down the big tanky Beast Heart wielding guy. And hell, they're going to find Master of Arms as well. One more auto attack going to be enough. The Kelfield isn't going to be used. And they will secure the kill, so ends up being a 3-for-2 exchange, trading both supports of the Hellborn team for 2 of the overleveled and farmed heroes on the Legion. Definitely a better trade here for the Hellborn team. Masera even grabs the deny on that tower here in the middle lane. So looking good. Now about that, Sandwraith is going to go for a Beast Heart relatively early here. Went with the Soul Scream Ring, just trying to get some stats, and now the Beast Heart into Mystic Vestments, trying to get a little bit more tanky. He was very fearful of somebody like that Pebbles, and swap back into the tower. There's the Comet Sun in the Engineer energy field. Shell Surf, Song of the Sea, and Rookie just got taken to town by the 3 casters down here for the Hellborn team in the bottom lane. Very, very well executed gank. Meanwhile, Deadwood, Rally, and Master of Arms are off trying to do some work with these Ancients. Deadwood taking a lot of damage, but they're going to be strong enough in the end. And I don't know if Rally actually has enough to finish up his Helm of the Black Legion now or not. Either way, Deadwood did just pick up a portal key, so going to get the mobility and the jump, the gotcha potential with that portal key. Pebbles, Andro, and Engineer waiting for somebody to overstay their welcome here in the bottom lane. Really like to find a kill, but Unfortunately, not able to find anything just yet. We even see Mikey Man dropping a Ward of Revelation, trying to check for some of the more common ward spots. But the Legion team just playing very cautious. They know they're behind, and they don't want to take any risks right now. Instead, they're going to try to make sure that the lead does not spiral out of control, and then hope for some good picks from Deadwood and Rally, and hope for some good team fights later on in the game. Try to buy some time for Rookie on Sandwraith to get caught back up. Bubbles picked up his portal key as well as actually bottom lane. Mirage going to be going off here as both supports of the Hellbourne team taking a lot of damage. And Engineer will in fact go down, but see you later, Deadwood. Looks like Sandwraith going to go down as well, but not before he gets the kill into Andromeda. A double tap coming out for both Rookie and Felpa. Too easy, says John St. John. And once again, another favorable trade for the Hellbourne team. They will trade their supports for big heroes like Deadwood and Sandwraith all day long. Those are extremely, extremely favorable trades for the Hellbourne team. And they're absolutely happy with those. Meanwhile, Artillery is off farming his heart out. Finishes up that Nullstone, and you're going to see his farm start to take off here over the next couple of minutes. Rebels once again working on another triple stacked ancient, so Gay for life. They're doing work now. They definitely had a rough start with that last game. This time, they are absolutely in the driver's seat. They're absolutely going to be looking for some big kills. They're looking to force this series into a game 3, and I think that it's well within their grasp. They've just got to hold on to it, tighten that noose around the necks of the We Are Spies team. And interesting. So there's the Energizer finished up on Sandwraith. Opting not to go for the Helm of the Black Legion or the Elder Parasite, whichever it was that he was looking for. But instead going to finish up the Energizer for the increased mobility and stats. But take a look at where HOMO7 is. Everybody well beyond their side of the river. The warding here from the Hellbourne team, making sure that nobody crosses that river. Whereas the Legion team, warding a little bit more defensively, making sure that nobody's going to invade them while they're trying to stay safe on their side of the map. And we're going to start to venture out here. We'll see if the Hellbourne team is going to mount a response or if they'll just let him. Oh, top lane. Sandra taking a lot of damage. Defensive Master's Call going to be used. And Sandwraith will drop a Desert's Curse. Unfortunately, it's going to be a pretty wide whiff. Torture and Deadwood came in to try to help. Well, there's not going to be much of a response coming out. So Bubbles did actually use the Kelfield there. They really did commit to trying to get that kill, but Sandwraith just a little bit too tanky. 2 points in Dissipate now, mitigating some of that damage, and Deadwood did just walk by a Ward of Sight. This could be a really bad time for Felpa. How are they going to respond to this one? Oh, Deadwood flips the portal key, and Sandwraith gonna die as a result. Torture going to be coming in here. Will he be able to get the Agonizing Bonds? Rotten Grasp going to miss. The chain reaction going off. That one connects. There's the Willowmaker stun, and Deadwood will have to get the kill onto Pebbles. What You Got comes in for the kill, securing Forked Lightning. Ah, dirty mobs. Missing that portal key, getting stuck on the wrong side of the trees. I don't know if he expected to have his clear cutting up at that point or what, but whatever it was, didn't 100% cost Rookie his life, but it certainly might have. If that portal key, if that initiation from Deadwood had been just a little bit better executed, I can say with pretty good certainty that Rookie would still be alive and well at this point. Artillery still being a quiet riot in other parts of this map, working on a jungle camps. Now going to go work on a triple stack of Ancients as Adro gets that set up for him. And he's even got a double damage on right now for another 0 seconds. Finishes up the Firebrand, so once again on the way toward a Geometer's Bane, like we saw in that last game. And Pebble's going to help out as well, but that LRM just crushes through Ancients. And, ooh, interesting. Mighty Blade just picked up on Bubbles, perhaps on the way to something like a Shrunken Head. Be kind of an uncommon pickup on Bubbles. We don't see that one too often. And certainly not as a second item as a follow-up to the portal key here. Could also be something like an Ice Brand. Ice Brand on the way to a Dawnbringer or a Frostwolf Skull. Both those things not outside the realm of possibility. But right now, the Hellborn team saying, okay guys, we got a big lead. Let's capitalize on it. Artillery going to lead the way with the backup behind him of Bubbles and Pebbles. And Sandwraith going to be trying to skirt along the edge of the bottom side of the map here. Does not have a TP on him. So it's going to be, most likely, they're going to have to fight here. And he's going to have to use his Mirage to actually get out. If he does try to skirt by right here, there's actually a very good chance that he will get spotted by either the Pebbles or the Bubbles trying to get into this position. And in fact, Pebbles might actually just scout him right now. They are so close to one another down here. Deadwood going to be coming in as well. And okay, Pebble's going to go in. There's the combo onto 2. Master of Arms goes down immediately. Torture going to be taking a lot of damage. She's going to get dropped on the other side of things. Bubbles and Engineer are both dead. Deadwood going hard. Willowmaker finishes off Andromeda as it looks like Artillery and Pebble's going to be the only ones left alive for the Hellborn team. There's the Compel onto Artillery. With that farming build, he's not going to be able to get away. But will he with the portal? He will. The TP gets him out of there. Very well timed and well played by Baltazar as all the stuns had been used. Deadwood unfortunately throwing the log, and that was the signal to go, go, go as the TP was mashed by Baltazar, and he was, well, he was ferried away back to safety of his well. That could have been an absolute disaster for the Hellborn team if they had lost Artillery there. And even as it was, the Golden Experience lead narrowed up a bit by the 007 team. Just great counter initiation. Pebbles went in and they were able to drop the Torture and the Master of Arms very, very quickly, but they weren't able to drop any of the key players here. And it's not as if the Torture and the Master of Arms are somebody like an Engineer who really relies on getting the ultimate off. In this case, the Master of Arms was able to lay down goo, and the Torture was able to get an Impalement Agonizing Bonds off before he dropped. They did a majority of their damage before they were actually killed, so in the end, that just ends up being a lot of spells that were used to not really a whole lot of avail. As, oh, big Rotten Grasp, Compel onto 2, Seismic Slam, nice swap back from Andromeda, going to be saving him for now. Pebble's going to be taking a lot of damage, but the LRM actually finishes off Rally, and Pebble's going to be able to get out of there. Torture drops as well, and there's the portal key forward. Master of Arms going to be the next casualty here. Most likely, the Defensive Master's Call is there, and LRM will finish off MOA. The Hellborn team saying, hey, you guys caught us off guard with that last fight. Not again. Not right here. Not right now. We're going to go ahead and bump that gold lead up to another 12,000. We're actually going to go ahead and take Conquer. And this is probably very apparent to the Legion team with them having a wide open opportunity for this middle tower and then falling back immediately. You say, okay, they could have had this tower for free with nothing for us to do about it. This means that they're taking a better opportunity. In this case, that's going to be in Kongor. Artillery and his illusions tanking this one out, and Kongor dropping pretty quick to the LRMs. Artillery will actually pick that one up, and the Mirage is going to be used more as a confirmation of what they should have already known. Perhaps hoping to pick somebody off that was very low, but nothing going to be picked up from the use of that
Mirage. Bubbles did end up going for that Ice Brand, by the way. I don't suspect that this is going to be a Dawnbringer. I would think that the Dawnbringer, excuse me, the Light Brand would be picked up first if this was going to be a Dawnbringer. Instead, I think this is going to be a Frost Wolf Skull, and that's definitely an item that is going to give Bubbles a lot of the things that he's looking for. Not only some additional stats, some additional tankiness, but it's also going to give him a very strong slow on heroes like the Deadwood, the Rally, and especially the Sandwraith, reducing that movement speed and attack speed that Sandwraith so relies on to be effective going into the later game stages. I like the pickup. Not bad. Uh-oh, Artillery in some trouble up top. He does have that token of life, but instead they're going to turn it around. Deadwood going to be the one that's going to go down. Beautiful counter initiation. 4 players up here for the Hellborn team. Rally able to get out of there. Uses the portal key to scoot on out as well. But nice job. Deadwood even getting that Willowmaker off. They just did not have enough damage to actually bring down the big artillery. Instead, the Hellborn team going to take this opportunity to bring down the tower up in the top lane. Their 4th tower of the game. Extend that gold lead even more. And the Legion team, even though they know all 5 are up there, still not quite out farming the other lanes. Torture in a hustle to try to make his way bottom and soak up some golden experience, knowing that this should be free unless the Hellborn team has already rotated into the bottom lane via the tier 1 tower that's already up. But no, they reveal themselves mid. They're going to just make the circuit here, take out all 3 tier 2 towers. How about that? A Sword of the High. Oh, Rookie actually in some trouble right now. Defensive Master's Call not going to be enough. There's the Willowmaker finishing off Engineer. And Pebble's going to take some damage here, but the Kelfield onto Deadwood finishes him off. And Rowley going to be taking some damage as well. There's the Chuck backward, finishing off Torture. It's just Rowley and Master of Arms. MOI is not even really there. Compel is going to be used. Does get them out of dodge. Forked Lightning going out as well. But this tower taking a lot of damage. Artillery, Pebbles, Bubbles, and Andromeda all putting an end to this tower's life here pretty dang quick. The fortification going up, but that tower is not going to survive. Combo going out on the Master of Arms. What you got just a little bit too far up. And, well, what you got is most likely going to be a game 3. Gay for life. Putting on a show of force here in game number 2. Nice Compel. Being kind of a jerk more than anything else to Pebbles. He just wanted to TP on out of there. Rally had no chance to get a kill. Yeah, Misera calling BM, and frankly, I've got to agree. That was a real dick move. And in fact, Pebbles actually could die as a result of this. In fact, Sandra's going to get turned around upon. Pebbles pays for that one with his life, but, well, the goods were not so bad. A kill onto Sandwraith and a spawn death at that. And how about that? A Dawnbringer is on the way. Bubbles picks up the Frozen Light. Now just going to be looking for a Firebrand to complete that Dawnbringer at about another 2,200 gold. Felpaw. He's sour. He's sour about both teams because the Sandwraith did die, but the only reason the Sandwraith died was because of all that damage and, oh god. Lots of kill in the bottom lane as Bubbles is going to go down. Deadwood going to try to get out of there as well. And, uh-oh, L-Arm's connecting. He's going to go up the side over here, and well, there's a little bit of a slow. The Keg connects. Beautiful Keg. They do eventually spot him out right here. There's the Comet Stun, and Dirty Mobs will go down. Back to the reason that Felpaw's mad. I'm sure a lot of you guys might have seen Smiger, where the Witch Slayer is running away from Sandwraith, and he's like,
Or no, the Andromeda's running away from Sandra, and he's like, please, don't attack him. He's going to die. Like, please, don't attack him. I will die if you attack him. And then Witchstar comes up and ults him, and the dispersion damage kills him. Well, that's kind of what happened with Felpaw right there. They wanted that Sandrith real bad, but all that dispersion damage actually killed Pebbles in the process. Rallying Torture looking to make something out of nothing, to turn the Beckel into the breadstick, if you will. And they're going to try to find some damage on that tower. But not able to bring it down in the end, so... ends up turning a Beckel into, well, some half-cooked dough in the form of a cylinder, I don't know. But second set of racks going to be dropping here. And there's the definite Gwort. Pebble's going to miss the Stalagmites. He's rewarded with a Compel. Kelpha going to be going in and a lot of damage being taken. Torture and Rally going to be going down very quickly on the other side of things. So Engineer able to get the energy field down. Rally and Deadwood both going to drop. See you later, Sandwraith. And the Genocide is completed as Master of Arms is dropped by the Hellborn team. GG well played's coming out as 007. They need to take a trip back to Langley and reevaluate how to be Spies. They give up game number 2 as Gay for Life advances into game number 3, forcing that third and final game of this best-of-3 series. So well played, well played. And I mean, you guys like to see it. I like to see it. A game 3 is what we're going to get. Very, very well done for Gay for Life. And I'm looking forward to game number 3 right now, seeing who's going to advance. 007. Definitely one of the more favored teams to actually advance in this tournament. So I'm looking forward to seeing where they end up. But guys, game number 3 going to be coming up here in just a moment. We'll be taking a quick break, but before we do, want to remind you one more time about the DJ Rhapsody promotion going on over at creative.com right now. With your purchase of these 3 select headsets, use the code. You're going to get some money off. I believe it's $50 off on the Recon 3D Omega, $70 off on the Tactic 3D Omega, and 10% off on the Rage, as well as a DJ Rhapsody code with your purchase of any of these 3 headsets. And if you use the link in the description, in the info page right here on twitch.tv/Colecast, well, you can even help me out a little bit as well. So make sure you head on over to creative.com and pick up one of these great headsets and get your money off, as well as an awesome DJ Rhapsody code. Offers valid through July 27th, so make sure to check that one out. But right now, guys, we're going to go ahead and kick it to a quick break. So don't go anywhere. Game number 3 coming up in Ultimate Series Pandasoul in just a moment, right here on Colecast.